Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is I, the Reluctant Gringo, back with another video. And first, I want to say thank you for your patience. Thank you for letting me be away for a little bit. I know I haven't been posting as much as usual, but the problem was I got deported. That's right, Mexico deported me out of the country. My residency didn't come through. My visa ran out, so I had to leave the country, go back to the United States, figure it out so I can get back to my wife for 21 years. Yes, she might be a Mexican citizen, but that doesn't give me the right to stay in the country any more than anywhere else, I guess. So yes, for the last 2 weeks, I've been dealing with that and moving to a new place, which I'll give you some insight into in a few video blogs coming soon, but not just quite yet. But what I wanted to talk about was a couple of things that I was able to view and kind of take in for content. The first thing is Five Nights at Freddy. Why did Five Nights at Freddy? Well, my kids loved that video game. They loved it when they were growing up. They said it was scary and it was supposed to be really terrifying and all that. So I'm like, oh, let me watch a good Halloween movie because it's Halloween and it's a Blumhouse production. So I'm going to give you the good, I'm going to give you the bad. Here's the good. The acting is pretty good, all right? The production value, Blumhouse knows how to make a movie look good. You know, Exorcist Believer may have sucked, but it looked good, right? They know how to make a movie look good. They get some really good actors. Matthew Lillard, love seeing Matthew Lillard. Stu Macher, one of the original Ghostface, even does the little thing with the knife and the wiping the blood off. To me, that was the one part of the movie that I'm going to carry with me because we're going to get into the negatives in a second. And it's a faithful adaptation. So if you're waiting for a faithful adaptation of that video game, it's faithful. All right. So those are all the positives. The negatives, Blumhouse can't make a movie narrative. All right. I was so bored. I stopped it halfway through, made a pot of coffee to have a cup of coffee because I was falling asleep. I was falling asleep during this movie. Not once was I scared. Never scared. Not once scared. Right. I'm not sure if they're trying to make an entertaining movie that was like funny or trying to make a movie that was sort of like, I don't know, too meta, but it wasn't. There's no horror. I mean, there's some blood and there's some kills and things like that, but you're never scared. You're never scared. Never once scared. So the thing I can compare this movie to is, like I talked about, Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. That's what it is. It's Freddy's Dead: Final Nightmare, right? It tries to be too funny, too meta, too this, too that, without actually being horrific and trying to scare you. So there's that. So Blumhouse, they can't write a narrative. We've seen it with The Exorcist Believer. They can't write a narrative. They can't write a story. It was slow. It was just plodding through. It was just like, oh, I just wanted to fall asleep. So if you're a fan of the video game and you want to see the movie, go ahead and see the movie. You're wasting your time. Go play the video game. You'll be much happier. If you're not a fan of the video game and you don't really care about the movie, probably, then good. You won't waste your time. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time. So Five Nights at Freddy, huge disappointment. The second thing I wanted to talk about was this whole South Park show, Into the Panderverse, right? Everybody's getting so excited about Into the Panderverse, and I want to see it. They're going to stick it to woke culture. They're going to stick it to Disney. They're going to stick it to Kathleen Kennedy. And they're going to stick it. Okay, I haven't watched South Park since season 4, long time ago. All right, not once did I laugh during this whole Into the Panderverse. I decided I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch it at Paramount Network. Again, not funny. I know where the jokes were supposed to be. They would have been funny 2 years ago. And that's the thing. If this thing came out 2 years ago, great. But this thing is not going to tell you anything about woke culture and Disney and all that, Kathleen Kennedy and ruining movies and race swapping and all that. You're not going to get anything from this that you haven't gotten from 100 other more YouTubers that have done it with more entertaining value and more comedy and more insight than South Park, right? This is a real big swing and a miss. Again, if this video came out 2 years ago, yeah, great. I mean, Meghan and Harry came out and that was really popular because it was current. This is no longer current. You're late to the party, South Park. And that's the thing. You're just late to the party. So the jokes don't really land. The one half, the subplot about, people going to college and not really having anything to do and not being able to hold down a job, not even be able to fix simple things around the house. That was, I thought, entertaining. I didn't really laugh as much, but at least that had a more current message of like, what's the state of college and what are we really teaching our kids and really what are they being prepared for when they go out to the real world. So that was a little bit entertaining. But again, nothing from this whole Panderverse am I going to learn. But here's the thing about pandering, right? Pandering is you're trying to be all things to all people. You're trying to please people. And that's really, when I watched this at the end of it, I said, I'm not sure if they did it on purpose or if by accident because they're running out of, creative juice. But this thing tried to give you both sides to the issue, right? And they did it in a way where it was so contrite and so apologetic and so, I don't know, it just seemed so forced that it seemed like the ultimate pandering. So I'm not sure if they were doing it themselves to make a point or just they fell into their own trap or I don't know what, but it just seemed like, are they trying to be satirical? And if you're trying to be satirical and people don't know you're being satirical, then you're missing the mark, right? You're not doing it well. And if you're not being satirical but coming off as satirical, then again, you're missing the mark. So again, this whole whole thing could have been redone. I think maybe they rushed it, or they had so many ideas they were throwing it at the wall, and they were too eager to do something that I don't know. But it's a swing and a miss. And if you want to watch it because you're a South Park fan, go right ahead, watch it. I hope you enjoy it. I'm not going to try and spoil anything for you, but again, for me, I could go watch Neurotic Critical Drinker, I could go watch Heels versus Babyface, I could go watch Ryan Kinnell, I could go watch Doomcock, I could watch so many others if I want somebody to give me an entertaining look at woke culture and how ridiculous it is. I don't need South Park. South Park is, again, behind the curve on this, and they need to catch up. So those are the two things I wanted to talk about. So I really appreciate you sticking around to the end of the video. I really appreciate your patience with me. So to all my subscribers out there, so awesome. Thank you very much for sticking around and giving me the chance to fix everything and get back with my wife and get back here in Mexico and get back south of the border. So as always, I'm still your reluctant gringo. Salud and a huevo.